Hello, I'm Elizabeth Diaz, and this is explanation of lesson plan number 3. In the informative data, we have seen story time. This class is prepared for students of first baccalaureate, which proficiency level is elementary. And the duration of this class is 45 minutes. And the TEFL objectives, we have the first one that is listening, and students here have to identify elements in stories such as the main idea or specific details in order, then in a sequence of events correctly. In speaking, they have to narrate stories and share stories that they know. In reading, they have to understand the elements of a story and use the graphic organizer to visualize those elements clearly. And finally, in writing, they have to construct their own story using adverbs and associating vocabulary with pictures. In the methodology, I use the direct method and the functional notional approach and communicative method. The strategies are brainstorming, graphic organizers, pair work, visual scaffolding, and story reenactment. So in the anticipatory set, I will play a YouTube video called The Old Man and His Grandson Story. And after the video ends, I will ask the students to describe the situations they saw during the development of the story. In the main teaching input, the warm-up activity, that is, after having started with the opening activity, I will ask questions such as, what kind of stories has a family member told you? And do you think they add values or reflections maybe to our life? And what purpose do you think the stories have? And then I will expand the ideas of the students and write details of the stories that they have been told for generations, and we will talk about other popular tales today. After that, I will ask them to discuss in pairs what are the characteristics of a story, and I ask them to select a famous story that they know and talk about the characters and the context of the story, the problem within the story, and finally the ending or moral. Uh, as they discuss the selected story, I will monitor their progress and check that students discuss the elements of a story and provide assistance if needed. And finally, the students and me will talk about the elements that they deduce from the story they selected, and I will explain the adverbs are used to tell a story, to give the story more movement, and I will put up a poster with a list of adverbs that they will later need. As well, I will explain about the grammar of the unit using the past perfect and the conditional. So in modeling, I will ask the students to observe the reading and read the poster, sorry, with the list of adverbs and go to page 36 of their textbook. And since they will have to put the words with the correct definitions, then I will explain that for the guided and independent practice, I will deliver some worksheets for where they will complete the activities using the knowledge about the elements of a story that they have learned so far. And finally of this, I will explain and that as a project they will do a storytelling show, and they have to work in groups to create or maybe recreate a story and act it in the class. In the guided practice, here we have the worksheet. This is the reading, and this is the activity that students have to work. And so in pairs, they have to develop this activity, which is about the completion of a worksheet where they will read a story from Greek mythology and analyze it and synthesize the parts of the story and write them in a box. Then they will have to answer the questions posed in the activity. And so at the end of it, we check the answers with the whole group. The next one is the independent practice. This is the worksheet that the students use. And here they will observe this worksheet, especially the series of images, and below of each, they will describe with their own words what they observe developing the story. And for this, they will use the adverb of frequency seen during the class, and as well as they will use the vocabulary of the unit. And finally, we have the assessment. And here I will assess the students throughout a quiz. This is the format of the quiz that I decided for this activity, for this task. And the close review and follow up. The class will be concluded by reviewing the topic briefly, and for homework, they will search the internet for a story to their linking and mark the most important elements in a graphic organizer. So, and this is the end of the presentation of lesson plan number 3. And thank you so much.